feel good music today, man. It's a big one, man.
Let's go. Like,
Something like a few Nipsey Hussles over there.
yeah, well, Molly. That's just for the. That's just for the
aura.
But
man, this a big one for me, man. I think this is one I've been waiting on for a minute. Two of my favorite people, you know, here in the same room to have this conversation has been excellent, man. But before we get into that, man, I want to introduce the podcast, Mr. fucking Hudson Crew Podcast. Your boy Ra. You know what I mean? We got a special guest today. Somebody that watched me grow, somebody that I look to as a brother, and I have the utmost respect for, man. It's my man Jeff. You feel me? Welcome my man Jeff here, man. You feel me? Appreciate you, my guy.
What it do? What's up, my boy? How you?
Good. You here, man?
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
My man
Good.
Jeff, man. It's been a long time coming, man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yes. I'm happy to be here.
First and foremost, the best Clippers in Newark. In Jersey, I think, personally, man. I mean,
It's been said.
It's been said. It's been said multiple times, man.
Most unknown known.
And that's crazy.
Or the most known unknown.
It's crazy. I had before I met Jeff, I had just started getting shape ups, like literally like 2 months before I met you. And I had
All your life before
I swear to God, never had a shape up before. Never had a shape up. Like my grandmother was not into that shit.
You went 30 years on Irvington.
Never shape up. Because I had dreads and braids, so it wasn't like, you know what I mean? So it was like, yo, the object of what a shape up was that the more shape ups you get, the further your hairline get pushed back. As already hereditary that my shit was gonna go bald, so I didn't want to start that shit too early. So I left my shit intact. But I met him through his brother, and it's like I got 2 shapers before that. Fucked my shit up badly. Never went back. And then I went to the shop one time. He like, man, come on, man, get a shape up.
He was reluctant for a while, like, nah.
And they gave my first shape up, and it's been what, 10 years since then almost? No.
Longer than that, bro.
Yeah, longer than that now.
It's been like 13, 14 years.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. And this man gonna bless me with a nice shape because your boy looking like a slave right now.
Yeah, for sure.
No cap.
A modern slave.
A well-dressed one, I'm just saying.
Well-dressed slave. Yeah.
Well-dressed slave, you gonna shape me up, man. You gonna put some work in, but
Even getting into this place, like, it's like you gotta know exactly where you're going. I think we talked about it earlier today.
Right.
You gotta know exactly where you're going. Same for everybody. Certain prestige people that you might have. It's cool, man.
Yeah, definitely. The way you say is accurate. I got into this at a young age. I think I was 18 when I got into this. And real talk, I feel like, not to be religious or anything like that, but it really was something that God blessed me because I didn't grow up really in barbershop. I had long hair myself. I had braids.
Give you a magic
I wasn't really.
You
It's not funny.
nigga had mind flopping pictures of that.
This is a life decision.
had to give it all.
Under 6 months of questioning bald guys to see if this is what I want to do with my life. But yeah. So Roz, it's been amazing to see you grow up and to be a part of your show. I mean, it's amazing. I watch you on the gram, and I can't believe I'm a part of it right now. You know, I'm definitely can't wait to see the growth. And in the East Coast, it's about coming and make your dreams come true. And I would, in the likes of Vice, man, I talk about all the time. That'd be really dope.
That's a fact.
And I appreciate it.
Hey, Vice, come holler at us, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Vice, come holler at us, man. Stop playing games, man. We've been atting you for the longest.
It's
What's
about
up?
time. It's about time.
What's up?
It's definitely about time. You guys are already on Vice.
So it makes sense.
That's a fact. Shout out to Fuck That's Deliciousness.
Fuck That's Delicious. Oh, whoa. That's
Fuck That's
a dope show.
Deliciousness.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Fuck That's
a dope
Delicious.
show.
And ain't about to drop another season?
He's been dropping seasons. He's been doing it independently now. So he's been doing it without Vice.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Which is dope. I mean, all income goes straight to them. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. But yo, Jeff, how did you really get into like being a barber? I mean, I noticed it wasn't your first choice of things that you wanted to do in life.
Again, I said it happened when I was young. So I remember. I think I was like 12, and I cut my little brother's hair one time, and that was like the first time I actually held clippers and cut anyone. And I was just messing around, in the house alone, and later on, I think I was, like I said, 18. And I found some clippers again in the garage and cut one of my friends. And people were like, wow, you know, it actually looks kind of cool. I'm like, whatever, just pay me. Give me my $5. That's what I want. Yeah, it was $5 back then, right? I mean, that really was what sparked it at the time, not being able to work or find, you know, good work in this town of Irvington. And it was something I felt like I could just do. And really, I'll never forget, I saw ushers, at this point, like a year or so go by, and I'm cutting with a book bag on my back. Just walking around.
It was a backpacker.
Yeah, I had a bag. It was a knapsack, actually. It had a drawstring. It had a Timberland tree on it. It was crazy. My famous, I wonder where it is. I wonder where it is now.
That bag is sitting in the stadium.
That's my favorite bag.
Get to a lot.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was pretty much that. And I never forget this one guy, I was walking down the street and he was like, yo, Jeff, yo, you do shape-ups, right? And I was like, yeah, I do shape-ups. You think you'll come through later? And he was like my first kind of official client. Somebody that called me. Usually I ask people, they would say, okay, and you know, they would give me a shot. And he actually, and then I started cutting people in a hallway. I couldn't go inside his house. His mother was like, nope, not in here, not on duty. So we had to do it in the stairwell exit. Had the extension cord running out, and clippers, and like literally the lights in the hallway. And it just cutting him once a week. Local dope boy, you know, he gave me a shot. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, unfortunately, we kind of needed those guys as an example too to measure yourself on what your growth could be. Getting money, people's getting money. It's not like it's Wall Street. Everybody getting money in a different way. So he gave me a shot. I think I spoke about that on like interview with Big Meech and as far as the show goes.
Yeah.
And they were saying like, you know, like the dope boys, like how things are changing now because the dope boys was the one that was funding.
It was like the tastemakers,
rappers and stuff.
They were the tastemakers. They said it was cool, it wasn't cool.
Right. That's the wow.
They set the trends. They set the trend for everything. Everything going forward. They set the trend of, you know, everything.
Exactly. Yep. So it went from that, and then by this time now, the neighbors downstairs and the guys upstairs, now they want shape-ups. Now I got a couple of guys from down the street. So like every week or two, I'm going there, you know, getting like 3 to 5 people. I'm like, wow, the children. And it was a local guy. I still know him today. And he used to cut himself. I mean, you thought he went to the best barber in town. He was doing it himself. Nice. I was like, whoa, this is by yourself? And one day he asked to cut, because now I'm cutting his friends now. So he's like, wait a minute, this guy's here every weekend now, cutting like the whole building. And I was like, but I always admired his cut. Like, we should cut together, you know. And one particular day, this was what made me really take it to another level. He challenged me. He was like, yo, let me shake bro up too, one of the guys. And I was like, first of all, that's my money, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get, I have no job. I'm like 18. I have no money. So I'm like, but I always take on challenges to a certain extent. You know what I mean? I look at it as like a little test. And I was like, you know what? Fine. And he shaped one of the guys up, and now it's like he's getting there. We're doing it this time.
Both
this is like 2003. And back then was a lot of Camerons, chin straps. Chin straps.
Bony as
ass chin straps. And you have to be the man to do a real good chin strap.
That's a fact.
So I did it, and we were doing the same style.
To everybody.
And now it's down to the wire, and I'm like, this guy's gonna beat me. This shit looks sharp as hell over here. Like, what the hell? Why did I do that? I never did this. I gotta pack myself up and leave. Like, nah, we going to Darnell, man. Like,
yeah, okay, fuck with Jeff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then literally we were done, and people looked, and it was the moment of truth. And I'm just cleaning up, and it was, yo, I like Jeff shit better, bro. I was like, yeah. And then I was like, I'm going to a shop. That was the moment of clarity. And I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's life, though. You gotta, like, a lot of people won't take them times to measure themselves, and some people, you know, have these innate feelings to move in that direction, and some people don't. And that's kind of like type of conversations that we have, the unbalance of what minds do and what minds doesn't, and why they do and why they don't. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all exposed to the same thing, but our perception
is completely different.
You know what I'm saying? We in here right now in the same setting, all have different perceptions.
Right.
But everything visually is the same.
How many people got to fuck up to get to where you at now? That's a good question.
That's the perfect. He still remember that one that he tipped up and was like, damn.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely had a lot of mishaps.
We're gonna go easy on
you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna walk you into it.
I was cutting a guy here for so long, the clippers blew up. I'm not lying.
Yo, no.
I'm not lying. It was like, I was like, oh, it was the most embarrassing thing ever, bro.
Yeah.
What was that conversation afterwards? Yeah, I'll be right back. Gotta go back.
I left. I was like, oh man, I couldn't stand there, and I was young. That's why actually the first time I went to.
Oh shit!
And one of the guys came and he helped me and I got through it. I got through it.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah. I remember I made a guy bleed a lot. I was shaving him and I didn't know how to put. I didn't put the hot towel and the lather.
What's in the skin? Yeah.
And I just put whatever on him. I just started shaving it. And it was like snap, crackle, crunch under his neck, man. He was like, yo, man, I'm leaking like a pig over here, man. Get shit off me, man. I'm out of here. I was like, oh, man.
Color purple.
Yeah. But, you know, I stuck with it. And to just move forward, one other defining moment, I always keep this close to me. I see the guy every few years or so, and I say, man, like, because of him, took me to, like, now I have my own space. I have a few spaces. I have my current space here, and he was like, you don't have any clientele. It's the owner. I'm like, what? Everyone's just coming to see me? It's like 06. I'm like, coming to see me? And he's like, that's because you the only barber here. The shop is open. I'm like, what is he talking about? like, I got a lot of people coming to see me. But it was like, what does that mean, you know? And I took that as another challenge. That was the second major challenge. Like, I'm going to show you that I can have clients. You know, I'm going to show you that. And that's what I did. And then I moved over to Irvington, and then I met my little brother, and I met Rob.
Right.
And that's around that time. It's like 08.
Yeah, that's when you start going. Yeah, it should start going.
And that's when we just started just going ham, and it's been rocking ever since. And you know, I care. I care about people. I care. I wanted to cut people the way I want my hair to be cut. Ironically.
No.
Don't worry about this.
Don't worry about this. Focus on the positive. Don't focus on the negative.
He's gonna take it all off.
Yeah, he got time.
Take it off.
He has time. He has time.
Mad nigga, that hairline almost there, don't trip. But it's kind of crazy because when like, it's funny that some people, like, you get into a chair and you spend 15 minutes in the chair, you out.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I had never met somebody that spends time on your hair to make sure everything was perfect. You know what I mean? And meeting Jeff, and I was like, yo, he's not punctual, man. Like, he's not, because he takes his time though. Like, he's on precision. He'll finish his shape up and then go back and make sure your shit cut down low. You know what I mean? So
he's about to do, he's still clipping you.
Exactly. He's still hey, wait.
In the car, like,
let me see if we get your shit. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's a level of perfection that people need in their profession. You know, you are a master at that. Like, I feel like you're a craftsman at it. You know, you're architect of the head. You know? When you leave, pause.
Oh, yeah, one, my guy. Thanks, you said it. I was like, okay. I just came here to do a cut, bro.
I don't know what kind of shit you in, so I don't know what kind of shit he in, so. Hey man, look man, respectfully, we respect all people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All people, you know what I mean? But
let's be correct on our verbiage.
But yeah, it was like the architect, so it was like, once I started getting haircuts and like getting shape ups and shit, and I felt more confident. And I feel like the barbershop is really the only place that a man can fully can let down his guard and even have a conversation. Because I felt like, I remember, and still today, this is probably one of the most like changing times of my life, where I actually like, it was my birthday. It was like my, 16th, 17th birthday. I came to the shop and I was getting my shape up, and there was a lot of shit going on in my life. I remember Jeff used to be heavy on Grey Goose. Take a shot. I took a shot, and that was the first time I actually let out emotion. Because I'm a person that, like, I bottled everything up, but after leaving the shop, I was able to let out. But I felt loose leaving the shop because I was able to talk to him about shit that was going on, and you know, and he knew things that even his brother and my friends didn't know about me. You know, the fact that I was homeless and I didn't have people around, well, not homeless, but a living situation. I always fixed that because I was never homeless and I'll never be homeless. But I was in a living situation. He was the only person that knew. Everybody around me didn't know. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like the chair is the only place that a man can really let down his guard, you know, and like I said, this man right here has been here for the last 13 years, you know, being my outlet, you know, being somebody to help me grow. So, like I said, again, this is big for you, man. Like I feel comfortable in this environment.
Barbers like therapists though.
Right.
Talk like,
Yeah.
Y'all gotta tip y'all barbers too. A lot of y'all niggas don't tip y'all barbers out there. Start tipping y'all barbers, bro.
No matter what that cut is. Pay that cost. Pay that cost. Pay that cost and add a little bit more.
Got you, bro.
It's a therapy session.
Niggas know about your baby moms cheating on you. Niggas know about your
Niggas know about everything.
Niggas know about that work you stole from your boy. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas know everything.
Yeah.
We really think about that. Like your barber really know everything. That's the only person in the world that you can confide in and not have
Black
somebody.
man's priest. Black man's confession.
Bro.
Come to the, you know, and it's real. It's a lot of guys. Like even with me and like what I promote is more like I promote a lot of tranquility, peace, you know, and not really.
And yeah, ambiance speaks to that too.
Yeah. I just want you know, calmness, and I do a lot of reading. So like, I do more than I get paid to do. You know, that was kind of like how I decided to like. You know, there's steps, and then there's steps, and then there's patterns, right? And in between the steps is a pattern. So in between the cutting, the pattern is, well, let me trim the ear hairs. You know, as men get older, a lot of men lose their hair in the head and goes everywhere else. Wherever you don't want it is where it seems to go. Okay?
Well, my finger's hairy as hell.
You know what I'm saying? Like, start growing a fro on your arm. Like butt hairs, butt cheek hairs. Get hard and curly arms. Like, oh boy, arm hairs. Okay, get
Yo!
So,
what the fuck going on here?
That's what I chose to do. I chose to pay attention to the smaller things. The ear hairs and the nose hairs, and even like tweezing. Some guys have, you know, especially black men.
You're right.
Our hair is the only hair that grows flat on our skin. All other races, hair grows straight out.
Right.
So it's unlikely they will get razor bumps, you see? But because our hair grows flat on our skin until it hits a certain length, then it lifts up. So within that time, it's so sharp, it pierces back into the skin.
See, I even know that was the issue.
Yeah.
I just started drinking more water.
This nigga, hydration.
That'll work too.
I'm like, yo.
That'll work too. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a real thing. That's a real epidemic with black men. Okay, razor bumps. So so I try to just do those things with the hot towels and the facials and try to bring that to men too, because you know, men, we work hard. We don't complain. You know, we keep on going and doing, and if there's a little bit I can do in life to give a guy a facial, no homo. Okay, pause. Give a guy a hot towel.
I never had a facial. I don't know what the fuck he talking about.
A hot towel, apricot, facial scrub to help him feel like relaxed when you come in. Like most men have never been to the spa or got any type of treatment like that at all. And
we need to normalize that shit, man.
Yeah, for real. It's part of mental health.
It's part of, I think it's part of health in general.
Yeah.
To sit there and be like, you know, to take care of yourself in a different way. You know what I mean? I remember when like you would see your sisters go get their nails done. That's gay, it's feminine.
Right.
I remember the first time I got my nails done, I'm like, yo, that's feminine. I feel weird.
Right.
All women in here, I got my hands poking out and shit. I don't feel like
right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yo.
Let me make a little cool in here real quick.
You know what I mean? So it's like to even have that thought process, you know, initially like, yo, this is feminine, you know, because we make that feminine. You know what I mean? It's just what we deem as something, right? So being that we feel that way, we feel like we shouldn't do those things.
Even dressing good.
Exactly. Come on, man. Looking good all the time. Put that shit on any and every time we get a chance to.
Even dressing up. Like,
Pause.
Dressing up like you dress up and he's gay.
Exactly.
Because you
do too much.
Like
now Kevin Samuels was a little bit different. We don't know about him yet. We still filling that out. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. But you know what I mean? To say the least is like, you know, we need those things to make you feel better about yourself. And on top of that, it goes back to to your hygiene. I think hygiene is it's crucial when it comes to a man. Because like I said, we're working hard. We sweat all day long to come home and take a bath, and that's it. Nails ain't dead, you got dirt, you know what I mean? So it's those things too. So you always got to, take time. And I feel like the barbershop is the perfect place to do it and have a great conversation at the same time. And which stem this whole experience, you know? Like where can, we come to a place that we enjoy the most and we have the best conversations, the barbershop. You know what I mean? And with some good people, and with some good brothers, and then make it a good episode. You know what I mean?
It's a place in our culture, in our neighborhood.
That's respect.
I don't like to always say community, but where you can get anything you want. Cambodian breast milk. You know what I'm saying? If you need, and we have a plethora of people that can find anything you need. Cars could magically disappear.
Easily! Right outside, that bitch gone.
I mean, it's a lot of things. You can come here and get like a twerk magic thing going on. I mean, it's endless possibilities at the barbershop as well, Bookies, I mean, what do you need?
A fight might jump off.
A fight, several of those have occurred. You
never know what to expect when the shop.
Yeah.
I remember one time, like, we used to hang out in the shop. No cut. We just here.
Yep.
We here for the experience. Like, I remember that shit was on Clinton Ave, down towards Clinton Avenue, next to the Jazif's. If you're from Irvington, you know what the fuck we talking about.
Right.
Like, we going down there, like, we in the shop, we ain't there for no cut. We here for the experience. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, like, Jeff always treated us as adults in the sense that, like, he never talks to us like kids. You know what I mean? He treated us as such. You know what I mean? Like, as if he was one of the homies, one of the friends. What's up? You know what I mean? And he talked to us the same way. It was always respectful. Never no disrespect, obviously, but he respected us in that sense. We were all eventually gonna be men. He treated us as such. So, I mean, like, that shit was amazing. I remember being in the Honeycomb. In a spot, you know what I mean? And Jeff just come and hike on us, you know what I mean? Fresh goose bottom, just hike. Remember I had some Aeropostale jeans on. I ain't no fuck Aeropostale even made 44 waist jeans. Like I swear, shit was wild, bro. I swear. I was so fucking ashamed at that moment, bro. Like that shit was hilarious. When I tell you the homies did not let me live for that shit was crazy. But in those moments, like, although it was joking, it just was like, it still felt good, man. Like, it still felt good, you know what I mean? But, what kind of, switch gears a little bit.
You can talk about this beautiful place, and I know he has a lot going on. He's a man of many things. Took us to your office the other day.
Right.
Pause.
I ain't going to a man office. You got me fucked up.
And we looked at this board, right? And up on this board, it was a man with a plan. That's what you're looking at, a man exactly with a plan. You have buildings up there, prices up there, mad different stuff you would expect a black man, to have.
Yeah.
Like, can you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, the connotation, and that's exactly, I'm happy you said it in that way, that the black man doesn't have, because we didn't grow up seeing those things. And I think we mentioned before about cognitive dissonance, which I'm becoming so much more aware of with, like how we base our life on a day-to-day basis. A lot of times it's based on how we grew up. Okay, so before I talk about that, I'll say this guy was like, man, my baby mother said I'm a great man, a great friend, a great father. I'm a terrible boyfriend. And I'm like, why did she say that?
Everything else good, but he ain't shit when it comes to you.
To her. And I'm like, well, why would she say that? He's like, man, I just feel like, like I'm Haitian, and in the Caribbean, like we don't see a lot of affection in the household, and I feel like that's probably why I don't show my lady a lot of affection, give a lot of hugs and kisses, and you know what I'm saying, Jeff? He's going on, he's giggling about it, I'm quiet. I'm like,
something ain't right when your barber ain't reacting to you.
So I'm like, well, he's like, you still there? I'm like, yeah, I'm here, I'm listening to you. What's up? He's like, are you done? Can I talk? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, well, when you got a side bitch, you sure know how to give her hugs and kisses, don't you? You take her out to nice places, you can't wait to see her, you want to go to the movies and sneak off her. Sometimes even flew her out. That's what they say these days. Flew out. Right? So it's either you don't want to, you don't know how to show affection, or you just don't want to show her affection. Right. So a lot of times we'll lie to ourselves, and then it's easy for us to lie to other people. Meaning, like, if you tell yourself something you know is not true about yourself, and then you make yourself believe it, then you've accepted your own lie. So that's two lies, and then now you can portray it to other people, right? Because, so for me, it was like with what you said on my board, it's like, you know, the connotation with us as black people that don't really have the mindset to get into things like that. And that, again, that was a challenge. I take these challenges. That was a challenge for me to learn this business and master it for myself. Again, I compete with myself. I don't compete with other people. I measure myself on, you know, life, but I don't, like, even with this business here, I had this for many years, and I don't compete with other people. That's why I said, I started off by saying I'm the most known unknown, because a lot of other barbers in the area know me, but I don't know them, you know, but they know of me, like, he's consistent, he's been rocking, he's by himself, he's dolo, you know, so that's just something I pride myself on. We spoke also about, what do you call it, like alpha males and sigma alpha males, right? And a lot of, you know, men like myself, like alpha, you know, alpha male, but I didn't feel like the typical alpha male, which was like, they kind of need henchmen around, or subordinates.
In order to keep them up high, they need the people below them to keep them where they are.
Yeah, and I felt like I never like to do that. Right. So I did some more research on the University of YouTube, and I came across Sigma males, and and it's dope information that was like, wow, you know, like a Sigma male is one that, you know, he reads, he enjoys his solitude, he makes the same boss moves, but wants people around to be his equals and know their roles. You know? So it was like, wow, like that's, no one's smarter than the next person. Like, you have your strength, I have my strength, and hopefully we can bridge gaps with that, you know? So that's kind of more what it was for me. So I'm still building trust. We don't trust each other.
100%, yeah.
Black people, you know what I'm saying? We don't trust each other. So to do that was actually a meeting I had with 7 guys in here about real estate and the importance of it, and understanding the change of generational wealth, which seems to be the talk of the time now. Everybody's on generational wealth. It's running rampant now. We all ready.
Which is good because it's a great thing. It starts to affect that cognitive dissonance, you know, that you mentioned, you know, to now start to, you know, build habits when it comes to those things. So if you're surrounding yourself around people who have that same like mind, I think it's somewhat keep you on track in a sense. Obviously, when you know, stray away from those people, it, you know, it kind of dilutes a little bit. But I think that's a positive thing. Any new train of thought is a good train of thought. Yeah. The fact that you even challenge yourself to do something a little bit differently. Yeah. Even if it's such a small thing, because I know people say, you know, oh yeah, black people not waking up. I said, well, I mean, black people are not woke. I said, well, they're waking up. Yeah. You know, like, you know, people like, no, that's not enough. Why isn't it enough? Enough is for somebody to sit there and say, okay, well, today I'm gonna be a little bit different. Today I'm gonna think a little bit differently. Today I'm gonna do a little bit different. Yeah. They may be inconsistent in their patterns, but eventually they'll get to that point.
It's like a great book called Atomic Habits that's saying like 1% is better than 0%. The whole book is about that.
Right. What you're used to is a positive thing. Yeah. Even if it's such a small thing, because I know people say, you know, oh yeah, black people are not waking up. I said, well, I mean, black people are not woke. I said, well, they're waking up. Yeah. You know, like, you know, people like, no, that's not enough. Why isn't it enough? Enough is for somebody to sit there and say, okay, well, today I'm gonna be a little bit different. Today I'm gonna think a little bit differently. Today I'm gonna do a little bit different. Yeah. They may be inconsistent in their patterns, but eventually they'll.
You gotta think about it too. We've been enslaved longer than we've been free.
Facts.
So you want us to change something to make a complete trend.
That in itself, that statement in itself is cognitive dissonance. So cognitive dissonance is what we're learning now, unlearn to relearn. We've also heard that expression, right? Unlearn to relearn. So that's what it is. But also, it's not just about like what you were conditioned doing. It's also like what you will do in the future too. Because the person will the cognitive dissonance also says, only align myself with things that are in my comfort zone.
Right. But do you think that's conscious or unconscious? I think it's unconscious.
It's definitely unconscious.
I think because we always put ourselves in a position that is going to be something familiar to us, right? Yeah. If like I don't want to put myself in a situation where it's unfamiliar and I have to like challenge myself.
That's the only way to grow.
Exactly. True. But I think people don't see it in that nature. So sometimes we have to take a step back and really realize what we're doing and what we're not doing, and challenge yourself. The only way for you to go forward is to take a step back and figure that out. Just to get back to it a little bit, and I think we can kind of elaborate on the cognitive dissonance, if I'm saying that right. How you say
cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive
dissonance. Dissonance, yeah.
So-
It's a tongue twister.
I think, and it's a great conversation to kind of have you elaborate on your findings when it comes to cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's exactly what he said. Like we've been were enslaved longer than we were free. So yeah, it takes that amount of time. It's like, if, for example, if a guy, let's just say we expect women to do certain things, right? If a guy grows up and he's been taught to be on top of his when he wakes up, take care of himself, hygiene, brush your teeth, that type of stuff. Make your bed, take a shower, clean about this before you go to school, after school, all that stuff, right? And he's done this every day of his life. Then he gets in a relationship, right, as a young adult, and now he's with a woman that, let's just say, is not doing that, right? It's gonna cause create what we call arguments, because I'm used to this, you're used to this way, and this person doesn't necessarily make the bed. They may not clean up the way you like it to be. They're okay with dishes in the sink for a few days. You're like, what's going on? And that also is cognitive dissonance, because you were conditioned. So cognitive dissonance is a major form of conditioning. Whatever you're around. So say, for instance, someone is in a well-off neighborhood, right? And they would not be able to relate to you being in a neighborhood that's not as good. They don't know that every day you come out the house, you have to think that you might die getting some water from the store.
That's even people, like when you talk about teachers teaching in our urban neighborhoods, right? People that's not from the neighborhood teaching neighborhoods. They don't know the battle it took for this kid just to walk to school.
Exactly.
Or a battle just to get home from school.
Like just walk through 3 different hoods just to get to school.
So that affects you in society and life.
Yeah.
And a lot of us end up not having the best outlook because we didn't have a lot of these things growing up. So for me, with going back to the board, the buildings and everything, like I'm creating something that we can do to trust each other. I read story. I can't be biased if you want to be into business. So I read about Charles Schwab and J.P. Morgan and these people, that Andrew Carnegie and these people. So you have to understand business, and I would like to build something that's like a Charles Schwab, where we can have an investment company that people that look like you, we're able to give you good information on investing. So I feel like that's the new challenge in my life. I can't get it out of my head. I keep thinking about it. So I decided to just delve very deep and get into it. I've been doing this for a long time, but I always loved business. But my cognitive dissonance was, you didn't grow up around this. You don't know anything about this. So who are you to even get into this? So, do you
think that mindset is the mindset of most people? Because if you think about it, right? Like, we'll take advice from people from other nationalities and from other walks of life, but we won't take it from a black person.
Well, it's exactly that reason. We're not supposed to know this. Right. We know we're not supposed to be informed on even these types of. So, how you know this, bro? You don't know this.
That's the first thing. That's the first thing, bro. Who told you that? Who you think you is, bro? Like you think you fucking J.P. Morgan or Charles Schwab or something, nigga? What's wrong with you?
Exactly. We've been conditioned to know that we shouldn't trust each other. You don't know what you're talking about, so. But if it's like
somebody of a different nationality,
because we feel them as more credible. We've been deemed to look at ourselves as uncredible individuals. Like we don't put any type of structure to society to help it progress.
Another thing too, super important. As kids, we always seen our moms and dads pass over money to the white man.
Yeah.
So you think it's okay to pass over money?
You know what? It's funny you said that. I just gave my lady some cash this morning to give to deposit, and I said, hey, give it to my. We have children. I said, give it to the children. Like just put it in their hands. You have to put it in their hands because someone said. I heard somewhere. Someone said. We didn't hear about money, weren't taught anything about money growing up, right? In the black neighborhoods, right? And the only time we did hear about money was
bills on
arguments.
Oh yeah.
Arguing about
I gotta pay these motherfucking bills. I ain't got no goddamn money. Like, wait, whoa. Grandma, can I have some money? I don't got no goddamn money. Like, whoa.
I think it was Godfrey, the comedian Godfrey.
Yo, he's funny as hell.
Yeah, he's super funny
as hell.
And he was like, he asked his father for some sneakers. He asked his father for some sneakers. He said, son, when I was your age, I didn't have feet. It's like, he said he wanted some Adidas. He just He took 3 fingers and just put a scratch line down his feet because it was so ass. Like, yeah, here's your 3 stripes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So those are the things that's cognitive dissonance. Hearing constantly that we don't have it. We end up growing up. I'm telling you, this is real shit.
Yeah.
We end up growing up, even if we may, telling our children, other people, I don't have it. Because you hear it long enough, you're going to believe it.
So, and it's funny because we talked about this before, and it's really just changing the mindset, right? And changing the outlook in the wordage in which we're using. Yes, it's true we may not have it, but how do you inspire a kid to use his or her imagination to now create avenues or streams of income, right? So it's like, okay, if I don't have it, you know, I'm gonna ask my kid, you know, what can I do to get this money, right? Okay, Messiah come to me, Daddy, I want some shoes. Okay, well, Messiah, how can I afford these shoes?
Right.
You know, so now it challenged him.
Afford it, but how?
Yeah, how can we afford it?
Right.
So now that challenges my child to now think of something creatively to find a way of doing it, to earn this
income,
money,
not make money.
So now he may say, okay, well, I can do a lemonade stand.
Right.
Okay, great. Or that we can go sell exactly. Or you can sell some more of your stocks.
Right.
You know, or you can do this. So now it now challenging them as opposed to shutting them down completely. Because I think we do that so much in our community and shut dreams down entirely.
Yeah.
Ain't no goddamn Santa Claus. This is me. Like, God, Grandma, chill. Like, I get it. Chill out. It's me and Al. Like, wait, I know. But
grandmas and older aunties always have friends. They never got a boyfriend. It's my friend Larry. What's the old name, Larry?
Old name. It's the same name.
A lot of Lawrences too.
If he Larry, I'm be honest. Yeah. You gotta be in trouble. Larry is definitely fucking mom. 100%.
All that leather trench coat.
Yeah, exactly.
What a wagon.
Lester. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Johnson? What the hell?
First of all, it's only certain niggas that carried the Mr. on their name. Yeah. It was only certain Mr. Johnson.
Right.
You know why he was
Mr. You wearing that wood.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Nasty Time.
It's crazy, man. But it's those behaviors that trickle down. And like I said, it's multiple things that's passed down within our community. But I want to talk about something that's really passed down in the community, and not just our community, but any community. It's really like it's pain. It's pain and
PTSD
so much.
is literally PTSD, bro.
And it's something I want to talk about a lot because I feel like we're all shell shocked, man. Yeah. Like we're all shell shocked. We fear this.
I don't think so.
A lot of us.
I think we just go with the flow.
Well, that's the thing. So what happens to somebody who's sick, right? Initially, it's trauma. Is that back and forth with yourself? Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing until it's normalized? And then in our community, the behaviors are normalized.
Right.
James did it. He did it. It makes it normal.
You wanna know how normalized it is, right? If you hit somebody down the street, die, right? You're gonna think 2 things then. You either got shot or it's COVID.
There's only 2 things in the world right now.
And there's 2 things right now. That's it. You got shot or you got COVID. That's crazy.
And that's why I say PTSD, because it's like, it's not normal for us to live and think that you might die, get jumped, stabbed at any minute of the day, just walking down the street and we're in an area where like major suburbs surround us.
Right.
Montclair, Milburn, South Orange, Hillside, Union, you know, and in front of us, which is Newark, is New York City.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
That's our geographic.
Money wise, 100%.
Yeah, that's, if not the #1 city in the world, top 3.
Right. They're not gonna say it right now because crime is still high. Yeah. And they still moving. You know, justification is still moving in. So they're gonna say it yet.
Well, just being next to New York is
100%, like
amazing. I mean, that's where the Wall Street of the world is. Let's not forget that. The treasury is right there. I mean, 1/4 of the world's gold. I do a lot of research. It says under the new Freedom Tower. Right. 1/4 of the world's gold. I mean, that's
Trump got that shit.
Trump got that
Trump Tower now.
He moved that shit.
I don't know where it went. It was there.
It was there.
It's right there. It's gone. Everyone calm down. Just relax.
We're gonna find it.
We're gonna find it. It's gonna be okay.
It's only gold.
It's only gold. Right. Exactly.
It's only 3.6 trillion it'll be fine. Nigga said,
Exactly.
it'll be fine. Nigga said, I don't know what the fuck they say.
Ironically, I'm one of the few people that kind of, I'm not into politics. I don't want to get into it, but it's like, I think Trump was really, I think he was a dope president. I mean, he did a lot of things that, I mean, just I'll say one thing. He decided not to, was the only president for years that jumped into no war. He didn't jump into any war. He's like, no, for 4 years.
Fuck no.
Every president has jumped into wars for the last, consecutive amount of presidencies, cabinets.
Let's get into that. Let's get into that because I feel like that's an uncomfortable conversation for most people. Right. So when Trump came into office, I feel like, I'm be honest, it's one of those things where you're like, damn, we about to fuck. But I feel like he was the only person that really was for the U.S.
Right.
He wasn't for everybody. He was for the U.S.
Yeah,
he said, how
exactly.
can I empower the U.S. dollar, right? And not venture out, right? Because a lot of now granted, this is one of those conversations that can go both ways. People may see it completely different. He said, okay, well, if you are a U.S. company, you better manufacture in the U.S.
Right.
Therefore, creating jobs.
Right.
Now, granted, the way he went about it 100% was completely wrong. I think the way he talked about other countries was shit. He ain't shit for that. But I think his motive was a bit right.
I think we talking about, what is it, cognitive dissonance, right?
Yeah, yes.
I can't get that shit right.
He can't relate to the average person.
Right.
He can't.
He can't relate to you.
He can't relate.
Because,
but the object of what he was doing was bringing a job back.
Right.
So even if that job only paid minimum wage, he's creating a now comfortable home for someone, right? So, because remember, the one thing that went away from the U.S. was the factory work. Right. Factory work was the number one thing that was feeding homes.
America was
that was the thing. That was the thing.
Alabama.
If you think about redlining and all that, a lot of those people moved into those communities because of the factory work.
Right.
So when they took that out, they took away homes. I mean, exactly. Exactly, and left places like Detroit and Newark and those places. And like I said, we can get into that, but to say the least, to bring those things back. And I think that mindset is what changed people from being a Democrat to a Republican.
And to touch also a little bit on that, with the famous interview, I mean, again, because we don't trust each other and we don't know anything about business, which is not our fault. Again, it's part of cognitive dissonance. We didn't see growing up, so not many of us are going to get into it later on in our lives. Right. Was the interview with Kanye West. He got a lot of backlash, and let me tell you something, honestly,
all his interviews.
I thought, but this one in particular was like, it was like blatantly seeing a red balloon and saying no, it's blue. I mean, because
Big Boy's interview?
No. The interview with Kanye and Trump, and the black community gave him a lot of backlash for that. To me, he was up there with 2 black attorneys.
But you know what that was up there about? You know what that was about? He was trying to free Larry Hoover.
Right.
That whole meeting he took up a lot of time talking about Larry Hoover.
Awesome. The first part of it definitely was about that. Right. Then he went into talking about factories, bringing industries back into the country in Middle America. That's what he was talking about, because he's from Middle America. Again, here's a form of cognitive dissonance. Every time you see the more I talk about it, he's from Middle America, so why would it be natural for him to care about that region?
100%.
We have to always be aware. You don't know when the great sentence is going to come in your head to give you a new perception. So it's very important. So he spoke about that. He spoke about that was my main thing, was that he cared about bringing jobs back to the country in Middle America with Trump. And black people were like, oh, he's over here kissing his ass, and he's hugging him. I was like, he spoke nothing about any other, he spoke purely about industry and black issues here. And at the same time, he must have read How to Win Friends and Influence People, because then he ended up, which is a great book, because then he ended up even patting him on the back and showing him, like, he praised him, and then so she's like, hey, you are president, you should be flying in this kind of plane. That could have been we don't know what mock-up that was of a futuristic airline he's gonna make. And even him is a very a dope person. Regardless of what you care about Kanye, where he's come from to where he's at, he's crossed many boundaries and many negative connotations as far as what not just a black man could do, but what a rapper can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
he's given barriers.
He's given the only #1 sneaker in the world to run for their money, Jordans. What other sneaker has gotten to that level and stayed there until now? I mean, what is this? Red October's is now 1.8 million. The most expensive in the world. I mean, this is a black guy doing some phenomenal numbers, and he took on a lot of challenges.
He's from a pro-black family.
Right.
Crazy about people. His grandfather, I think, participated in marches out of Washington, I believe. His grandmother participated in the sit-ins. Like he comes from like a real deep history of like strong black people.
That's what's kind of people discredit him so heavy. Oh, he's some uncle, bro. And it's funny because the fights that are fought is sometimes not in front of the camera. You know what I mean? It's not in front of the camera. This man is now fighting with the world, fighting with himself. And it's really crazy. And it's like not everything you will get right now.
Right.
But you'll get it later. You'll get it later.
Always, yeah.
You'll get it later.
808s.
Right.
Like 808s are hard.
When he did that shit, that was the most disgusting fucking. Remember, people was talking about his shit.
I love that album.
I loved it immediately.
Loved it.
Some people hated it.
Right.
I don't like this. This is devil music.
He did.
Niggas was playing 808s until he dropped that shit. That shit was crazy. I didn't like it at first. That devil music. You know what I mean? You devil, your mom made that shit. I'll be honest. I wasn't a Kanye fan. A lot of what Kanye brought, I'm be honest, I was a Dipset. There's hard shit.
Yeah, but whoa.
Pause.
Some of the early Dipset.
Let me break it down. So when I understand this, there's level of music. There's level of perfection of music, right? What I mean by that is, you may go to the song because of just the instruments, the beats, and how the good quality.
Right.
He go to it because of just the style.
Right.
And things like that. I'm going through it because of the lyrics.
Right.
God damn, he a gangster. Like that's the main. I'm not going. Like hearing Jay-Z say, oh yeah, you got another one. I don't know what the fuck that meant. Who the fuck was Ye? I don't know who. I don't care who that is. But the song is dope. You know what I mean? So we all going into it for a different thing. And I'm listening to Dipset and I'm hearing these beats and I'm like, God damn. Like I don't know who's producing the beats. I can care less.
Yeah.
All I know is your boy Joel just had a crazy ass bar about killing somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't give a fuck about nothing else. So that's why I say that. And now that's why I said I could appreciate somebody like Kanye now when you realize that he's behind a lot of these hit songs. He's behind Cam and why Cam had amazing songs. Down. Kanye is on the song.
Yeah,
what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I'm listening to Cam more so than anything else. So I think that's where it comes in and where my understanding of music changed as I got older. Because now I appreciate the behind the scenes people.
Right.
I appreciate the voices behind there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When Kanye was really intricate and when he started to use people's voice and not the actual verses.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I've been a diehard fan. I have people that know me, Kanye fans for so long. So some of my friends have called me like, over the years that he's done things, they've called me like,
"So what's your man?"
Yeah, what's up with your boy, bro? Like, and I'm like, yo, just leave him alone, bro. He's just going through. I mean, I don't know him, and like I said, I really love music. I mean, one of my favorite artists is Jimi Hendrix. Need I say more? I mean, that's something else that people kind of look at me over I'm so eclectic.
Arranged.
So different.
Cause nigga like Gucci Man too. So Jimi Hendrix and Gucci Man, that's two different worlds. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
two different worlds.
But Kanye is, when he came out, College Dropout, I was just out of high school, and I really was able to relate to. I'm a kind of an underdog kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always looking like I should have cheered for triumphant moments. Someone in a movie like the movie with the Rock recently. What was that movie with the Rock? And he went back to Hawaii and he was holding onto the helicopter with bare arms. And shit, which was just crazy. But that was
he went back with his whole family.
That was a touching moment. Yeah. I mean, it was very touching. I definitely should have cheered on that one. I did. You have to love love. I love love, bro. I love love. I'm all into like spreading love and like my boy Diddy. He's a Scorpio. I'm Scorpio. He's a Scorpio. And he wanted to change his name to Brother Love.
He did. He changed his name to Love, right?
To Love. I think he
changed his name to Love.
His real name was Love.
So, but it's crazy. So like, And it's funny because that in itself you don't equate to a black man, right? Because they say a lot of black men don't know how to love. You know, like, where did you get that from? Like, is it a part of, you know, your growth and, you know, the things you've seen? Because I feel like a lot of excuses that we have in communities, not just our communities, is that I don't know what love is, so how can I love? You know, and I'm one of those people, and I'm a firm believer that the things that you want in life or you wanted in life, you need to redistribute that more than anything else. Because, like I said, as opposed to making an excuse for it, you now better yourself because of that.
I think City Girls and Cardi B fucked up. I'm saying, like,
yeah, they fuck it up for the women.
Like, yeah, it's like
they fuck it up for the women. But if you like, I say things not just because it sound good.
Yeah.
It could always revert. You said. Like we said, regurgitate it or like put it back.
Yeah, put it back out to the world.
Like same thing with the guy that said he didn't see affection, but he uses the word, so you know what it means.
Right.
So you have to give it back out. You got to give it to you got, and it's, you know, like I said, back to the Bible. My boy Trump said, they said, Trump, you're the most popular person on earth. He said, no, I'm not. Jesus Christ is. He's the man, you know what I'm saying? And like that is what made a great president. But yeah, so you have to give out what you want, and trying not to give it out didn't work for me.
Right.
You see? So okay, let me try another way and let me see. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to challenge myself a lot, like even with being in a committed relationship, not like messing around with other women. That's been a big thing. People still don't believe that I do that. Real talk, men are like, no, there's no way. And that's another challenge. Like, can I go out and really do that to prove to the Almighty, myself, my lady, my circle, society that, yeah, you can go out there and not be tempted, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, back to the board, a man with a plan. A lot of men are out here without goals. It still stems to cognitive dissonance. No one taught. They weren't in a suburban, like in the lower suburban form where they had little financial foundation to say, this is why you should brush your teeth in the morning, and this is why you should
not just do it.
This is not just do it. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you why.
Give you
like
purpose.
You get a spanking and that's it.
Yeah,
they didn't tell you why they had to spank you. You just did it just because I'm grown. And even now, a lot of men or black people are still in the shadows of their parents, afraid to challenge their words, afraid to challenge. You know, and then they put things in their head saying they can't do that. So a lot of black men don't have any form of goal setting, and if you don't have that innate ability, you're gonna be lost.
Yeah.
You know, right now, a few years ago in 17, I was saying, man, we need like $500,000 to retire. Yeah. When I'm 36 now, so our people, our age, our white counterparts, they're looking at 1.2 million to retire. Mm-hmm. That's Montclair, it's 15 minutes away. Yeah. Yeah. Like liquid cash.
That means I can move it at any point.
Yeah, this is not assets.
It's not assets. It's liquid cash.
And that's like, look at that mindset. Mm-hmm. That's years behind. You see what I'm saying? Like this generation of white people are looking at retiring with $1.2 million, and the higher end, $3.4 million in retirement. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a lot that we have to catch up on, and I'm realizing, like, man, like, I want to do so much more. Right. But when I think there's a thing I call the special feeling. And I think a lot of people go through life. I went through it. Go through life with a special feeling. Right. I express it as, we all want to strive to the American dream. The fence, the yard, the house, the car, two-car garage, the white picket fence. That's what it is. What's put out there for us. And foreigners come here and like, that's what they want too. Right. It's all over TV, cognitive dissonance. Right. So, with that being said, it's like, if I don't know any systems and industries that produces that kind of lifestyle, I will never get there. I'm gonna go through life with this feeling that I feel so good that when it's gonna happen, it'll just happen out of thin air. No, it'll never happen like that.
We keep praying it out.
Yeah, that's another thing we were taught. Praying it out. No.
Let go and let God. Yeah. Wait a minute, no. Yeah, that's not the purpose of it.
Exactly.
It means the things you can't control, you let that be. The things you can't control, you put your best foot forward. And it's crazy because I was having a conversation with somebody like that, and they was like, nah, gotta handle all these things, you know, just make sure you, like, the object is no, you gotta go out there and get. The things you can do, the doers do. Everything you cannot control, you let God, you let go and you let go and you let God. But at the same time, like I said, the podcast, we look about it, we put our best foot forward to make sure we put out great EPs every time we drop.
Right.
The things we can't control is people tuning in.
Right.
I can't force you to tune into my episode.
Right.
Budget, boy.
They got streaming forums.
And it's crazy because people do have streaming forums. You know, but that comes with distribution. It comes with a record deal. It comes with those things. And that's why people are easily sold on those things. Because people just want the money. They don't want everything else that comes with it. I can care less about the money. I care about the message more than anything else.
Yeah.
I care about the message and what we're putting out to people. You know, because those things matter. At the end of the day, like, in our time, I mean, in like the communities we live in, you know, we feel like we're the only one going through something.
Right.
You know, we like, I'm going through this, man. Like, nobody understands this shit, man. Nobody's understands this thing. As men.
Yeah.
So we think nobody cares and nobody, you know, nobody.
Even our women, we feel don't care because they give us a lot of grief.
Exactly.
Coming back to Kevin Samuels, he's like, it ain't the white man is coming into the house on our neck. It's the black woman person sleeping right next to us got a foot on our neck, so to speak.
It's pressure. Yeah.
Because well, fatherless sons, fatherless daughters too. Our black women don't know no more than we do, but they come off as if they got the plan. They give us grief.
But can we change that narrative and say parentless or educatedless parents?
Yeah,
because I feel like that's all it comes down to.
Yeah,
because let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Generational curses.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Jay-Z said his uncle told him he'll never be able to sell 1 million records.
Right. So is
he didn't know.
Too, right?
It's not like he knew.
Right.
He just thought like, yo, bro, like I couldn't do that shit. It's hard, bro. And if you keep, you're gonna put yourself out there. Exactly. People put fears on you. Correct. So I say, if a person don't know, they just fear that you're gonna fuck up and fail and become what they did. Because the only thing that they did, that only thing Jay did that his uncle didn't do was kept going. He didn't quit.
Right.
He didn't quit. Jay uncle quit.
You're thinking about black women in this country. Like black women is the highest educated group in this country.
Right.
Right.
Like. Well, everybody else.
Yeah, the comedian said that. He said that the white people keep black women as the financial gatekeepers of their companies.
You have to.
It's just to an extent, it's true.
They'll say no ASAP. We ain't doing that. You a goddamn lie. Like what?
That's so true.
Behind a great businessman in a suit is a ratchet black woman. I promise you. I'm not speaking down. Kamala Harris.
That's a wild example. Okay, that's it.
Chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out.
And it's not even just the first. That's the first woman vice president. And she's.
It's fucked up.
Exactly what we're talking about.
Fucked up because he banished her ass to foreign lands. We haven't seen Kamala since she got in there. She only focused on finances. That's it. He don't have her do anything else. And it's crazy, like I said, and I say ratchet as in the fact that is willing to come out and say no to shit.
Right.
And willing to stand on it and not be scared of it. You know, now I'm deeming that as ratchet, but I'm deeming it as somebody who's willing to stand up for something when somebody is not. You know, we deem ratchet as she ratchet and this, but no, she's blunt, she's loud, she's telling you no. She's telling you no to her friend. You know, you trying to fuck with her friend and she said no to that. She don't fucking want you. Yeah, because she know I ain't shit. And I know I ain't shit, but I want that tonight. You know what I mean? Exactly. So we deem that as ratchet.
I got a question for Jeff. You think you want to be the epitome of like yourself, you know, like it's like, you know, how can I put it? Does anything that you having 3 girls make you want to be like the greatest man ever?
I mean,
how like 3 daughters, that is.
Yeah, it's like 3 daughters, yeah, does it correlate?
I mean, it has a lot to do with it now in my life. You know, before I wanted to do big things before I had them, but yeah, definitely now. I mean, that's the best gift I've ever had. I often tell my lady, like, thank you, you know, for giving me these gifts because, man, it's like I don't know where they've been all my life, and they only been around for the oldest 8 years so far. So yeah, it definitely has a lot to do with, again, I have an opportunity to give people that look like me a different perspective of life. You know what I'm saying? Like give them opportunities and expose them to a lot more things that I wasn't able to be exposed to. I remember my father, he was just so, this story, I tell people every now and then, I say it now. Remember when you guys are younger, when Windbreakers came out in like the mid-90s, it's been out, but especially like the early 90s, I should say, mid-90s, they came out really hard again, Windbreakers. And I wanted to appear so bad, and my dad, I don't have a good relationship with him, which is a normal thing in our culture, unfortunately. And he was talking to the guy that where the Windbreaker stand was, and he came back to me. He was like, he's like, yo, you want the windbreaker? I was like, yeah, Dad, I really want it, man. He was like, no. I was like, what the hell kind of this nigga? What's wrong with this nigga?
He done let me up. He threw the alley hoop and blocking himself.
Blocked it like,
nah.
No. I was like, yeah, so that was very crazy. So like, look, yeah. But those are some of the things that I took on myself growing up. I was very conscious to me, I think, as a child. I think all of us were to a certain extent. Like, parents think to your child, you're dumb, but you can remember and could understand things when you were in your single-digit ages, to a certain extent. And it was the same for me. So it's like those are things I never want to do with my child, with my children. I just want to have, give them, like what every good parent, every parent wants, man, better opportunities, to be smarter. I tell them all the time, I want you to be smarter than me. And I'm not here to control you. I'm here to guide you through life.
Right.
I can only give you the best advice. It's like this. I forgot who was saying it the other day on one of these other podcasts, and they were saying that these what was he saying? These what were we talking about? I'm a little skied. Okay, I got a lot of Zai in my head right now. Okay?
That shit loud. That shit in there knocking.
They just hold on to a thought and they choke it. They choke the shit out of it.
And all that, I flip his ass. Bang, bang, bang.
That's what the Za from the California lands will do sometimes, guys. You know what I'm saying?
The dry lands.
Yeah, but it's important to be a great dad. And I don't have a plan for that, so to speak, yet. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm just kind of even right now. I'm on my 10-year plan. I did an unofficial 5-year plan, and I'm on my 10-year plan. I did that. I appreciate that. And I'm 4 years into my 10-year plan, and it's crazy to talk about because we can't. Like, I don't have a lot of people to talk to about a lot of things in my life, because I end up being like a lone wolf because I took on this path to get to that level. Then everything around me, everyone I knew. Even today, when these guys were just coming out, talking to my buddy, he's like, and I called him back, and he's like, yeah, I was calling you to see about going to watch a game, drink a beer. He was like, yeah, I don't only call you for haircuts, man. I call you to hang out too. You know what I'm saying? Like, people call me, it's just for business. It's not just for or advice. So sometimes, and that's I think is what allows a lot of people not to pursue what they really want to, because we know you're gonna go through a situation where you'll lose people around you.
Yeah.
So most people will never pursue what they seriously, bro. A lot of people won't pursue it because you're gonna have to fall back from a lot of things and people.
You're gonna have to say no.
You can't get around it, bro. You
have to say no. And when you start to change your outlook and you start to do things differently, people look at you different. Like, yo, bro, they like, yo, you can't, you on that time now. Right. Are you too good? Where it's like, not necessarily I'm too good. It's just now I have to prioritize myself a little bit different.
The thought process, building trust amongst ourselves is my new goal. And this is part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we will rush things so much, and I learned to just take it easy. The other thing, cortisol. Talking about cortisol, let's go ahead and pop this bottle right here.
Speaking of it,
talk about liquids. Okay? Yeah, because you guys are phenomenal, man, and you guys are really good. Honestly, like I'm very happy to know you guys for real, because it's about growth. I'm a young guys. You don't know what in a year from now, 10 years from now. You guys will be in some 10,000 square foot mansion, chilling.
Somewhere chilling.
And that's what we taught kind of to, no. Yes, nigga, yes.
Go for it. I want the 10 million. I want the 10 million.
We cannot shop. We cannot.
Give me the Tesla. I want it. That's what I want. I'm going after it.
My nigga Kanye said, what you think I fucking rap for? To push a fucking rap for?
Nah, we out here.
We're supposed to be embarrassed to want nice things. What's happening in our culture.
And it's where you from, and it's funny because, like I said, like we talk about it, and it's like Jay-Z said it, how we're kind of shamed.
He's not doing the butterfly on this one.
Beat dropping everything. But like
the finest grapes.
It's kind of crazy that you're shunned on the fact that you wanna rock the gold chains and everything like that. But at the same time, that's where you come from. You come from Africa. You come from where the gold and the wealth is all there.
It's natural for it to
It's natural for you to want that.
Yeah,
it's
bro.
For you to want that.
And then we're talking, it's gaudy, it's this, is that. Like, if you look at so many things are taken away from media. You look at, there's obviously still kings, a lot of fucking kings in the world.
That's a fact.
Okay, like they're still right now canoeing down channels.
Watching YouTube.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They got an iPad on a raft and shit. You know, but they have big
gold,
primitive design gold, you know, bracelets and pieces on them, and it's just something that's looked down upon here. And it's like, no, like we like you said, the cognitive dissonance in the sense like it's in our existence to like these nice things.
And it's crazy because that shunned upon.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. You know, that shunned upon, but at the same time, you know, you look at the, you know, the Caucasus, you know, and they have their beauties. They have the things that they enjoy.
Hold on, have you ever had this one?
First of all, I haven't had Bel Air since my 21st birthday. That shit got intense. Hey, Shaka, I apologize, man. This thing's at
32 years ago. It's about.
Look, Shaka,
good, man.
He was
look good, Stanley.
They got the oldest name.
Stanley.
You know what I mean? I apologize, Shaka. Last time I had this shit, I was throwing it all in a hookah lounge, New Jones.
Wow.
That was a wild night, man.
Yeah.
I had 21 shots of tequila.
21. Oh, well, your 21st birthday. Wow.
That shit was that shit was deadly. I was asleep within an hour of us being there.
Oh,
and
man.
the hour of us being there, I was slumped, knocked the fuck out. That's last time I had this. I
accidentally took some lean. That's how you know I'm old. I actually took lean. I accidentally
he
drank
shot that
some
shit
lean.
up.
And I was in the club sleepy as hell. I don't know what was going on. Why am I so sleepy?
He was in that bitch fighting it.
I did not know what happened to me. I've never done it. I'm not into
Juice.
No, it was not.
He gotta get that shit out.
The guy gave me a little bottle too, like a little like incense style bottle.
That's a fact.
And it dropped, and I was like, I wasn't gonna take that shit. And I was like, nah, it broke, man. My bad, bro. Oh man, I got another one. Shit. Damn, I didn't want another one, my
Trying to
guy.
avoid the motherfucker.
Bruh. And I literally, I was like, fuck it, whatever. My brother was with me. He was like, it was the Barney or whatever, the purple one. I took a little sip of it, but whatever. Like half of that little vial, a little jar.
That shit.
I gave it to Chris. It was pure. It wasn't cut.
No, 100%. That was before this shit started being
went to New York.
high tech. Yeah, that shit.
Went to New York at Taj, man. I was slumped the whole time in there. I don't know what is going on. But I forgot. I didn't know why I was so sleepy. I mean, coming back home, they done took my sweater off, took my watch off, and shit was talking slap. Nothing. Done. It's done for. So I stay away from the activists, all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I like the finer things. You know?
Now, as you should. You should enjoy that, man. I mean, you got gold around your neck. You need to drink a little bit of it too sometimes, man.
Exactly. And we have to learn to want to be like, we're on Clinton Ave. You know, we're in Irvington, right? We're on Clinton Avenue. And I would look at Clinton Avenue. I would like Clinton Avenue to be like a Black Rodeo Drive type of situation.
And we can make it that way.
Yeah, we need to.
You know how many abandoned buildings are out here?
But the thing is, I think they making it, how can I put it? I think they making us hate these places, right? So they can come in and
it's designed.
Yeah, but
it's designed for you to
take it over. Look at Newark. Newark is a beautiful place, bro. It's a beautiful place, right? Especially downtown Newark. And after a while, people started hating downtown Newark. This shit is like disgusting, right?
Right.
And after that, they came in, blew everything up. Look at it now.
Right.
So I think they kind of make you hate places like that.
If you think they make it hate, or they allow us to run our course so that they can sweep in a little cheaper. Because I feel like that's exactly what happens. So you allow somebody to violate or dismember a community. Therefore, these properties are, let's say, easily worth $100,000. But you allow, it to run its course, let them sell drugs, a few raids, a few things, leave the houses abandoned for a few years, and then come and buy it for $50,000. Not saying that is the actual price, but at the same time, you think about it that way. And I think that's what they allow them to do. Think about all the projects that we had. They ran the motherfuckers down, and it was easy to knock down and get rid of them, and then move in a whole bunch of condos. And I think that that's just a process. That's what they allow us to do. But and I also think it's actually something different too, because a lot of our communities was actually built because they didn't want these communities anymore, right? So Newark and all these projects were actually created for white people. Let's break this down, right? So when they talk about redlining, right? All these projects was created because it was factories near these places, right? So these, let's say High Street and all Prince Street, all those streets were at white people. So what happened is once black people started to get those factory jobs, right? White people no longer wanted to stay there anymore. So white people moved out, black people moved in order to, keep money coming in. So that's how our project actually ended up happening. A lot of those projects was actually built. If you read Redlining, it's actually a book. Read it, and that's like what actually transpired. But you realize how much money is passed through the black community. So why not bring businesses right back to it? Right. That's why they build up downtown Newark again. You put Gap down there. You put these, you put Starbucks.
They worked the first time.
And they didn't. And they was cleaning that motherfucker out. But what they had to do is they had to. That shit was there for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So what they did was now they realized that, okay, well, we can't just put businesses there. We got to have people live there. So when you have people live there, they police there differently because they request cops to actually show up there, right? So if you notice, you go downtown Newark and you pass Market Street, you cross the street, it's a completely different world. Yeah. One side of Market is still Newark. It's still Newark. You cross the street, it's a completely different world.
I would say it's really from Irvington to down, honestly, because it has become to me like the financial
district,
visual financial district of Newark. And Newark, Newark is so vast.
Right.
It's so vast. So for me to, and like you said, it's you just said something. It's almost like it is kind of conditioned to be this gloomy scene because it promotes violence. It promotes people getting incarcerated, and that's what it is. It's like livestock. You see what I'm saying? So I remember back in 2005 or 6, I had cut a lot of guys' dreadlocks off in that year. They would come in like, cut my dreads, like insanely amount of guys, because at that time it was still white tees, blue jeans, and Timbs, with dreads, and they was just snatching you up because everyone was like in a uniform, nigga. Everybody was wearing white tees, jeans, and boots. So and once you had the dreadlocks, they had every probable cause at that time just to
pick you up.
Because
they're gonna say a black guy with dreads.
This is the things that we have to go through. Yeah. So, and that's another thing I want to tap on a little bit, which is super dope. The fact that now there's no fashion isn't ruling society anymore. Fashion rules society at one point. Not too long ago. You have to have certain
what you was
brands on to be validated.